Kathy Burke was so brilliant in Nil by Mouth. Did you get her the job in? Yes, yes, yes. Winston, I mean, that was another incredible cast. But did you get her the job in Tinker Tailor? If you haven't seen it, it really holds up brilliantly, and it's a really interesting slice of London life that you don't get in many films. Really brave filmmaking.
Yeah, a long time ago now,
Still brilliant.
It's just celebrated its 25th birthday. The BFI did a sort of remaster of it, and yeah, so it's quite a while ago now.
But did you get Kathy the job in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
Oh no, they cast up. They again. I heard that they were looking at Kathy for comment, and they said, "Well, yeah." She's very touching, isn't she? Very, very touching. Yeah. It's hard to get Kathy. She doesn't work as much as she used to. Directs more, in fact. But yeah, she's a super lady.
We talked about Jackson being the smartest guy in the room, and I just have to ask, are the action sequences fun? Booby trapping that house, I mean, it's so clever that you know in advance you're going to lure him upstairs with a gunshot from the eaves. The knife in the banister and the crisp. So, are those scenes fun to shoot?
Not particularly. Yeah. It's. Can you stick the knife through the banister? Yeah. No, a little bit more. Yeah. When you stick it in, it's got to be at this angle. It can't be at this. No, it's tedious. It's tedious, and of course, no one is on the phone. So you're walking down the street. I'm sure the actors here would know this, that you're walking down the street, you're having a conversation, and you have the AD running next to you, reading the lines from the script. Yeah.
It's a must.
Yeah, you gotta do it's phone acting. Yeah. Beethoven's hair acting. I mean, it's.
I mean, and there's a whole slew of, like, I don't know how there were any villains without you in the 90s. You just really struck that. Of amazing characters.
I don't know how that happened. Really don't. No. I mean,
If you're good at something, you're invited back.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. It was a ship I wanted to eventually turn around. I got a little tired of it, some of it, wacky and scary. House of Four used to call me Scary Karen. But yeah, and I just get to the point where I said, no, I'm not doing it anymore. They're more expensive. I'm more expensive when I play them. Don't come cheap.
So just because we are in the middle of a retrospective these weeks, I'd love to just do a little 5-minute rapid fire session where I give the titles of the films that American Cinematheque is showing, and you give us one fabulous memory about making that movie. So I think the first one they showed was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. That's coming up, but then the first one you made.
Well, that was just an amazing an opportunity to work with Tom Stoppard, because he directed it. He had never directed before, and he would admit that he would work with the actors, and then I think the cinematographer was Peter Bijou, and he would come in and then kind of set up the camera, and Stoppard would say, from here on in, I'm a passenger. He knew nothing about the camera, nothing technical, but we did have rehearsed it like you might play. That's that really is the memory I have from it, and also getting Richard Dreyfuss to choke on his drink in a pub. He said, "No, that's an impersonation," or whatever. And I did, and he was in the swallow, and I went, "I sleep in the wind."
Coppola's having a moment. So, yeah, and Dracula was a really big swing at the time. It was quite experimental. So, yeah. Did you just want to drink at the vineyard, or was it?
No. I mean, it was a strange one because Dracula wasn't on my bucket list. I didn't need to do it. And had it been a different director, I probably would not have done it. When I heard that Coppola was auditioning and doing it, I just thought, oh, Francis, his take on it must be unusual, and that would be interesting. And I didn't, and I thought, well, if I do get it, I'll at least give it a go, because I wouldn't want to really give up the opportunity of working with Coppola, who is, arguably, one of the greatest living directors. I mean, if you just look at the work, it's just phenomenal. So to have the opportunity to actually work with him, that was the main attraction for me. And also, when I read the script, I crossed oceans of time to find you. I just thought it'd be worth doing a movie just to say that.
But that's no easy feat. One of the things I think is so interesting about your character in the movie is that it is so sympathetic and so romantic, and yet it is perhaps the most faithful version of the literature. There is this direct connection to Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah. We read the book. We were all in a circle at Napa, at the compound the Coppola, Camp Coppola we call it. And we were there, and we read the book, and it took us 4 days. It's dense. It's a tough read, but my memory from that would be rehearsals. And we would go off and do various things. He said piano moves, he went ballooning, and someone else went horse riding, and of course I said to him, what do I do? Because I'm 300 years old. So it got me, lying around and coughing for a bit. Sucking up the fly. But Francis was, and I'm thrilled for him that he's at Cannes and that he's finally got money and he's making his.
Yeah, I'm sure we all can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
You get your Oscar for The Darkest Hour. I mean, playing one of the greatest, Englishmen who's ever lived, must have been terrifying, stressful. I mean, and your behaviour as Winston Churchill is impeccable.
Well, it sounds sort of, I don't even make it sound so glib. I mean, when I was approached by, I laughed my head off. I mean, maybe, Chamberlain lost a few pounds, it was the strangest idea. And then, of course, like anyone who's creative, if someone mentions it, but you in the moment dismiss it, and you say, "Oh, come on, don't be ridiculous." I mean, look at me, I can't play Winston Churchill, but something goes off in your mind, and And then I started to, I listened to some speeches of his, and then I found myself sort of in the kitchen, you know, surely you know, should find it on YouTube. I could do it, you know. And then there was Kazu Hiro, who was the makeup guy, and I dragged him out at the time because he was doing his fine art, super hyper realistic sculptures, and he had retired from the business, and I begged him to come and do it, and so I pulled him out of retirement, and I basically said, look, if Kazu can't do it, I don't really want to do it. It's got to be just so. And then that was almost a year, 8 months, 9 months, watching documentaries and all reading books and all the stuff that you do, and in between I had to go off and do Hitman's Bodyguard.
Sarcastic. And then finally, because we're running out of time, moving swiftly on. Now, there's probably not a lot of film and video to watch for Herman Mankiewicz.
No, there's no footage of it. Although what I did, I studied the brother. And I looked at the interviews of the brother and thought, you know, the apple wouldn't fall far from the tree. So that was sort of, I felt that was my way in to getting an idea of who Mank might be. And there's some good literature, some good reading about Mankiewicz, but the brother was the anchor for me. You find all these little, you know, and then you get a sound and a voice going, and then if the writing is good, and the writing is exceptionally good, it gives you clues how to phrase, how to move. You always, I think, you take it, it's the old Stella Adler thing, you know, read out, don't read in. If the writing is really good, then it's all sort of laid out for you, all the signposts. And if you've got imagination and instinct, it will speak to you. Someone asked me earlier about putting a character together, or what do you do? I have absolutely no idea. And I don't mean that like, I don't mean it in a modest way, and I don't even mean it like, oh, come on, you know, Tony Hopkins, who says, yeah, you know, you just kind of learn the lines and don't put them into the furniture. He said, oh, it's easy, you just learn the lines, and you go, come on, Tony, you do more than that. You know, it's fun to say it, but you actually, you work on it and you do more than that. But there's technique and experience, and you bring those things to it. But you've got to have an imagination, but you've got to have intuition, you've got to have an instinct for it. And I don't think you can, I don't think you can teach. It's like, I actually said earlier, if you look at someone like Jim Carrey, it's so particular and unique. There's no one like him. It's genius. I mean, he could be so funny, and you couldn't teach that. You couldn't show someone that and go, now do that. You know what I mean? It's a whole, it's his DNA, it's his thing. And I think that a good writing speaks to you, and then you apply you apply those things. I mean, with Jansen Land, I'm applying almost 50 years of doing. I bring a whole life experience to it.
Exactly, which is what we
50
see.
years.
I'm so thrilled that we know we're going to have 4 and 5. I can't wait until September. And again, as you were saying about the stuff that you apply, when I think about you washing in the sink and farting in the Rolls Royce, it is 50 years of work.
Yeah, 50 years.
Yeah,
But
no one else could do it.
I remember saying to the actor at the time, I said, "You don't mind if I grab you, do you?" I said, because I think he's going to I really kind of got to, position myself to let, I think Lamb's going to really position himself to let this one rip. because it's a Rolls Royce. And it's leather seats. I mean, this is the conversations that one has. If you can imagine, we're grown-ups, and I'm emailing the director, and he says, here's a rough cut of episode 3, and I'll watch it, and he says, we chose a fart, but it's off grounds. So, and then I'll go, you know what, I think, and this conversation came up, I said, it's a Rolls Royce and it's leather seats. I said, it has to be more robust. And then he tries one and he writes back and he goes, good call. This is my life. It's a good one, but...
Thank you for sharing it with us. I feel like it's going to be a midnight screening, and I'm so sorry we didn't get to Tinker Tailor, but pay attention, right? The clues, the way they roll out, so beautiful. Gary OLDMAN, thank you so much for doing that.